me back to the good old days when I didn't feel pain, when I didn't feel ashamed. Welcome to His Light in the Darkness. I am Shauna Fontaine. I started this podcast from a devotional that I wrote, which wasn't a typical devotional. We talk about depression, fear, addiction, anxiety, grief, worry. You don't have to be a Christian to listen, and you don't have to be a Christian to be a guest on my podcast. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Today, I have Miss Stacey as a guest. You want to say hello?
Hello.
So I'll give a little background on how I met Stacey. She was actually a friend of my son's, and we were at a concert, a weekend concert. And she was on FaceTime with him. And she was like, "Who is that?" And RJ said, "Oh, she's my mom." And she said, "Can she be my mom too?" And I know that Stacey has a few mother figures in her life. And so I call her my daughter. And all of my friends that I've had for years are like, when did you have a daughter?
Currently 29 years ago.
So welcome, daughter.
Hello, hello.
So I'm
I've
going to
been calling you
start.
mom, I think, for a couple years now at this point.
Yeah, I think it's been what, about 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5.
Something like
I mean, you're mama number 2 in my phone. So,
that. Well, I remember when you first met my son, like in person, and your eyes just went, because he's really tall, went to the top, and I was like, hi.
yeah, I think it was the M-Fan barbecue in Tampa.
Yeah, that's right. The Yankees. Boo to the Yankees. Just kidding. Just kidding for any of those Yankee fans. So I brought you on because I thought that you would be a really good person to discuss what you've been dealing with in your life. You're only 29. And do you want to tell the audience what you've been going through?
For the last about, I think, 18 months at this point, I have been dealing with stage 4 colorectal cancer. I got diagnosed at the age of 27 when they were telling me for 6, 7, 8 months that it was only, oh, it's probably just Crohn's. It's probably just ulcerative colitis. The blood in your stool is nothing. And then come to find out after a colonoscopy that no, it was way worse than what everybody was saying it was.
Well, the funny thing, or not funny, I guess ironic thing is you're a nurse, right? So,
ER tech, yeah, medic, army medic, or former army medic. I would say I can't do that anymore. But I knew it was something. I always knew it was something. And I was just like, all right, let me trust the doctors. The doctors know what they're doing. And yes, they do know what they're doing because I mean, I work with plenty of them. I've worked with plenty of them. But if you know something's wrong, like just keep pushing. Just keep pushing because your gut's going to tell you something's wrong. But I was very timid at first, a very timid person when it comes to confronting doctors about things about or like pushing back on my health. And I never wanted to be like, well, I don't know. It's not like what you're giving me is not working. So can we look something different? And it bit
well,
me in the
you're timid. You're timid by nature. You're not an aggressor. You're not confrontational, but it's good for you to tell people that if it's your gut, it's okay to push, especially when it's your health. You don't want to just sit there and be like, okay, well, I trust them and they're a friend. So it's like, if you know something's going on or you feel like it, then definitely, keep going. How did you feel when like they told you? Because you probably knew, right? Your gut kind of was like, things
I
aren't
knew
right.
something. I knew something was wrong. But when I came out of the colonoscopy, I was expecting them to be like, oh, you got ulcerative colitis, you got Crohn's, easy peasy. The doctor kind of looked at me and like with just like a pity on their face, you could tell that like something wasn't right. And I was like, you found something, didn't you? And they were like, we did find a tumor 2 centimeters from your sphincter in your colon. And I was like, oh, they're like, we don't know if it's cancer yet or if it's a cancerous mass yet. But so they took part of it and sent it off. And then about a week later, they brought me to the doctor's office and said, yes, it is unfortunately cancer. And that's when they did like a more extensive scan and I figured out it was stage 4. And I
Which,
definitely I I cried a lot. A lot of the first maybe 3, 4, 5 days, like I would wake up and be like, wow, this is really my life. This is really like this is what I'm dealing with. Like I have cancer. And I didn't think at 27, like I'd be walking out of a doctor's office with a diagnosis of that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you have a daughter,
I
right?
do. Mhm. She
And
turns 7 next month.
I can't believe she's that old already. My little
Dance with me.
granddaughter, and she's
Like 3 years is
spunky.
okay. Oh, she's got an attitude. She's a fierce one. She'll tell you what she's thinking 100%.
Well,
I haven't seen her in a little bit because obviously right now with my health I can't fly or anything like that, and that's very difficult. It makes me feel sometimes like that I'm a failure as a parent because I mean, hey, that's it's my daughter and I'm not very hands-on right now, and it's probably one of the worst feelings ever.
well, I mean, so you and I have discussed many times that one, you're not lazy. You know, whenever you were healthy, or so you thought that you were healthy, you worked, you're a hard worker, you're an aggressor when it comes to work. Definitely good work ethic. And, now you can't work. It's with your chemo and your treatment. It's like you don't have the energy, and you can't be around people. Your immune
Yeah,
system is so,
plus the job that I did was the ER. Like that is that is like the pinnacle of like I don't know what I have infection wise or disease wise. I'm gonna go get it checked out. So I can't exactly interact with those people anymore.
yeah. And also that means that you can't see your daughter, unfortunately. So it's like, as a mom, you're always going to feel guilty. Like it doesn't matter. You'll do something, it's going to be really nothing. Your kid's not going to remember, but you're still going to feel guilty. You're going to put that on yourself. You're going to be like, if you could be with her, you absolutely would have her. You absolutely would, spend time with her. And it sucks. It's like, I know there's a lot of people who are going through what you're going through, and they probably feel the same way. I got to stay away from my kid. I got to, you know, take care of myself. And what, like I've always told you, if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of your daughter? It's the same as on an airplane. Put the mask on you first and then take care of the person beside you, because you can't take care of her and be a good mom when you may not be here because you're not taking care of yourself. So it's like, I know you feel like inadequate, but you're not. And that way our
Like it
listeners can
gets
chime in. Huh?
it gets to the point where like with like especially with chemo, like I couldn't even like her. She's still growing, obviously, so like her immune system is not. It's probably a lot better than what she was obviously when she was an infant, but like it's still not like peak because she's still growing, and like I can't even like I have to flush the toilet twice during chemo, so that radiate like the radiated stuff goes away. My dog can't. I can't like he licks. He loves licking me. Can't lick me because it comes out of your every single body fluid you have: blood, tears, sweat, urine, any kind of body fluid. It's comes out of, and you just feel so you just feel like you're in this like radiation bubble.
Well, I think a lot of people, I never knew that. Like until you told me, I had no idea.
A lot of people see it and they'll look at it and be like, "Oh, you have cancer." They're like, okay, it's just another thing that everybody deals with, or some people deal with, and it's just like I don't think you ever like. And people look at me and that like they're like, "Oh, you didn't lose your hair. You're not in a hospital all the time." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because everybody has the stigma of cancer being it's one thing. Oh, you lose your hair. You're in the hospital all the time. You're sick. Yada yada." But when you're dealing with it for 6 months, a year, 2 years, for some people that have colorectal cancer, I know that have been doing chemotherapy for 4 years.
Wow. Wow.
You a lot of people are like, oh, like, and especially in the beginning, people are like, everybody's there for you. Oh, it's so sad. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And then like you kind of like slowly start watching people be like, okay, this is a lot. You can't do anything. Well, I'm just gonna and then they forget about you. But
Yeah.
you do learn in that there's a lot of people that will stick around.
Yeah. I think that's a good point to make is that you find out who your real friends are, like who are going to be there in the dark times and in the bad times and when you don't feel good and go to the doctor's office with you and, be there to cry with you. And because it's not like you said, everybody's either you have like stage one or you have stage four and you're in the hospital and you're dying and they don't really understand the process. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through the same thing as you is like, I mean, because how long does it take you to recover from chemo?
Well, it was I just want to touch back on what you said. Like even with the stage one, you're fine. Stage four, you're in a hospital. Like even then, like not all stage four looks the same either because like I haven't been to the I've been to the ER maybe 3 times, but I've never been admitted to the hospital. Knock on wood, because I'm not going to speak that into existence, but I have been fortunate enough to where I have not had to be admitted for any kind of like infection or like any kind of precautions or anything. There was one time I got real close because I had like a fever that just wouldn't go away, but it looks different for everybody.
Yeah, it's not like cookie cutter, but you have lost a lot of your hair. They just don't realize it because you had so much hair. I
Like
mean, and it still looks
it's
like you're fine.
I you learn a lot on how to make it look like you haven't lost a lot because like I've lost at least 50% of my hair, but you
Wow.
can't tell because I had so much. It was down to I think my waist at one point, and I had to cut it up to roughly shoulder, well,
A
armpit length
little, yeah, armpitly. But
because it was just like
even
I'd brush my hair and it would just be like a whole mat in the thing, and I'm just like, nah. And it
well,
looks a
especially
lot
being
fuller
so
when it's
young.
shorter
It
too.
looks it looks fuller, is that what you said?
Yeah, because like you could tell like as soon as it started getting to the bottom, like it would just get like pasta stringy, like lengthwise, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this chop 6 inches off and hope for the best there.
But you have a lot of other side effects, I think, of cancer or of the chemo that a lot of people don't know or isn't discussed.
Yes, because when I first started, I was on like the basic like colorectal like because until I got my tumor testing back, because they have like you get different medications and chemos and immunotherapies based off your markers in your tumor. So like I was negative for a certain I don't remember exactly what marker it is because it's like a long, super long name, but they said I was negative for it, so I can get this extra type of medicine, which it's called Vectibix, and it gives you it that is probably the worst one out of all the ones that I take. It gives you a face rash that I hate. You can kind of see it all the time. It flares up with stress or anything like that. You can get vitis. I don't know how to say it, but it's like a crust on your eye. So like your eyelash bulb area where your eyelash grows out of that could get infected and crust up. It can give you nail toxicity, which I get sometimes because I sit here like pick at my nails sometimes, but it's manageable to an extent. It's and with recovery for chemo, like I'll go in, like I get it every 2 weeks. So I go in on Mondays. I'm there for 5, 6 hours. Um, and then I get this pump put on me for 46 hours after that, after I leave. I hate that thing. That thing is the bane of my existence. I call it my purse. I call it my Louis Vuitton. I call it my Birkin bag, whatever it is, because it's a very expensive attachment to me. And I have that on for 46 hours. And then I get taken off on Wednesdays, roughly around like noonish every time. And the Tuesday is probably the worst day. I literally feel weak. I feel like I lose all color in my face. I feel like I'm not me because like I'm normally up around. I can do everything, but I feel like I just have to stay in bed or do very minimal. I can't stand up for maybe more than 5, 10 minutes at the stove, so I have to have a lot of stuff prepared and all that. But by Friday, and it slowly starts to like get better every day you wake up. But by Friday is typically when I'm back, so it's like I get a week on of being quote unquote normal because I mean there's nothing normal about cancer, and then I get a week of what I refer to now as hell week because it definitely feels like you're going through hell.
Well, I think that's another point is you're not able to work, which means you are not bringing in an income, you know, at least not a
A
typical.
work income, yes. I currently receive disability income through the state. And granted, it is not a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, you're disabled. You're getting a lot of money every month. And it's like, you get maybe $1,300.
Yeah,
And
which we
that's
know
it.
in this time does not pay for anything. I mean, you may cover what basic costs of
Mhm.
living and maybe food, but so I'll mention here and I'll mention again, you do have a GoFundMe. I did
I
copy
do.
it. I am going to share it. So if people watch the video, wherever they see it on social media, I'll make sure and include that link because hey, if they can spare a couple dollars, then help a young mom out that would
Would be
like
very
to
appreciated. Not required, but if you're feeling generous,
generous. Well, Stacey is not one to ask
I will
for
never.
money. Yeah, she's not one to say, "Hey, I'm just going to come along with you and you're going to pay for everything." She's very independent. And so the fact that she started it was a big step.
Well, you had to strong arm me a little bit to get me to do it.
Well, because you aren't like that. That's why I said, like, if you were one of those moocher, give me,
Yep. Nope.
yeah, not going to help you. But you are not. You I mean, literally physically cannot do more than what you're doing, because right now you're just trying to stay alive, right?
I do. That's so because it gets very boring. You get cabin fever really badly if you don't. Because like I don't currently the place I live, I don't have anybody but myself right now. It's literally me and my dog, and that's it. I'll do like DoorDash when I'm feeling okay to like supplement a little bit of income, but I mean
And with
I can only
and with
do
that,
so much.
you leave it at the door. So it's not like you're,
Yeah,
interacting with people for your immune system, just to put it out there so people don't go, "Oh, she does super
but
well.
she
She's
can
around
work.
people." What is
No,
that? No.
no, and it's only on days, and that's the only thing that I've seen that I can do. Like, oh my, it's like okay, this day I'm feeling absolutely like complete garbage. I'm not gonna go, or like this day I'm feeling great. I can do a couple hours here and there. And it's the only thing. It's very flexible. Obviously, like it depends on your area, like how prevalent DoorDash is, but I mean, it works. It helps.
It's it's something. It's, can pay for groceries for a day. As expensive as groceries are. But just to reiterate to people, I will share the GoFundMe. So if you feel inclined, you want to help somebody out, like me, I like to help people out. Let's say there's a family that, doesn't have a week of groceries. Here you go. Or a kid that can't afford shoes, parents can't afford shoes. Here you go. Instead of spending a week of your lattes, maybe pass it on to Stacy so she can, you know, fix her car and and eat
Yeah.
food and so if you had like something to tell people who are, because it can be very down, it can be very easy to go into that hole of depression. Like it's super easy, especially with how advanced yours is. What would you, because you're a fighter, I mean, 100% a fighter. So what would you say to people who are at that point, or maybe just got diagnosed and now they're like, my life's over, what would you say to them?
You're gonna find out who your people are 100%. There's gonna be people that you start off with in your cancer journey that you think are gonna be a good rock, a good support for you that might turn out and be the worst decision you've ever made. And that's well, they can break down your self-esteem. They're not gonna be supportive, they're not gonna be this, they're not gonna be that. Just get rid of those people. Those people don't matter. If they're causing you stress, boot them. That it's not conducive to you. You shouldn't feel bad about anything symptom wise because I mean, I know I do. I tell myself all the time that I look in the mirror and I'm like, this isn't the person that I used to see right before I got diagnosed. This isn't the same person. Like, you're never going to be the same person after this. It's going to be, you're going to be a different kind of person, but never going to be the same. And you lose things that, because like at one point they told me, they sent me that they're like, you have to get radiation. You're probably never going to be able to have children again. And at 27, being not married, I have my one child, but and I probably didn't want another kid, but like knowing that I have no choice in that matter anymore, I, that that was a whole grieving process in itself. And it's like I have to grieve the choices that I don't have anymore for myself because of this took it away from me.
Yeah. It's like you didn't decide your life, but it doesn't mean that your life has to decide who you are.
Yes,
You
you
know,
are not your cancer, 100%. I've had people tell me that the people that are no longer in my life, that cancer is all you are. You're a downer because you can't do anything, or you can't drink, or you can't do X, Y, and Z. Um, no, you're not. You don't have to do any of those things to have fun or enjoy your life or anything like that. You're not ugly. You're not a burden. You're not terrible. You're not anything that any negative person says during this journey that you are. It is not. As much as you sometimes feel like it, because I know I do, and I still have my days that I do, you're not.
I think that in itself is like a fight to fight, especially if, let's say, it's a significant other, or somebody really close to you that you have in your life, like constantly, daily, and to be able to, like, to need to fight that and have the strength to fight those, what you hear audibly, from that person. It's like you have to shut it out, put up the brick walls, and just concentrate on you and concentrate on fighting. And I know it would be difficult, especially if you're in the same living space with someone. And it's like, okay, well, how am I going to push that out and have enough energy to fight? Because you have a lot to live for. You only 29, you got your daughter, you got us, you
Yes.
got your brother, meaning my son, you've got,
I got my
close
actual brothers
friends,
too.
your
Got my
actual
family.
brother
Got my
too, your
perfect
dad, you
dad.
got so you have a lot of, even though you've had to push a lot of people out of your life, you do have a very good base, because you have your biological family. I don't mean that like you're adopted. I'm just specifying that if I call you daughter, you're not my biological, you know what I mean.
My
But
chosen and my bonus family.
yeah, your bonus family. So you have your core family that is there rallying around you, and then you have your extended family and close friends. Now, another thing that you've done is you were a gamer. That's basically how, or you are a gamer. That's how you
Yes.
met RJ. You got your big setup there. How has gaming, like, because a lot of people will go, oh, they're playing games, they're being, so aggressive, and this caused this, and this caused that. And I know that that can be an argument, for some people. But what I've heard, I go to the gaming cons with you guys. I hear kids talk about depression, kids talk about anxiety, and I've never seen such a huge support system with gaming. So how have you found it, like?
Gaming definitely gave me a escape, I guess so, because I mean, I have, like I said, the four walls that I'm in all the time with my apartment and everything. I don't get to leave it much. I can't do much. Um, but it definitely has given me a outlet for any kind of stress that I'm having. It's given me a distraction for any kind of things I might have going on. Because if you don't have a distraction, I mean, you can just sit there and you're just like, okay, you're in your head and you're thinking, you're spiraling, and it's just it's not conducive to recovery or anything that you're dealing with. So even anything besides video games too, any kind of hobby that anybody might have prior to being diagnosed with all this can be a good stress outlet for the situation.
And it can be anything. It's like you want to, do pottery at home, or you want to do gardening if you can physically, or maybe you want to put puzzles together and challenge yourself with the, 2000 piece puzzle. I don't even know if there's a 2000 piece puzzle, but I know that you and I have talked a lot about having hobbies to distract you and to take you. Because if people sit in their minds, oh, look, this is what's going to happen, and a million thoughts can go through your mind, million thoughts to distract you from, trying to be the best for yourself. And if you have kids, for your kids and a husband,
Gaming also, another point I wanted to put out, gaming also makes it to where you can interact with your friends and stuff that you have made, are making, going to make in a safe space too, because you're not directly in front of the other person. So it makes it a little safer to interact
well, I
with
know
people.
there's annoying and bad people on the internet. There's annoying and bad people everywhere. Doesn't
Yes.
matter what arena you're in, always bad people, not so nice people. But like I remember when you met your friend from England, right? He had come
Oh
over
yeah.
and all of you
Mhm.
guys met, and you guys had been what, gaming for how long?
Yep. It was me, Spencer, RJ, and Robbie. Robbie's the one that came from England. Ugh. And him and his family came to New York, and we had been gaming forever. And he's like, "Hey, we're gonna be in New York at this time." And at the time, I lived in Virginia with Spencer, and then RJ flew up from Florida, and we took the car, got in the car, and went straight to New York and met
And
somebody
that was,
that we had played with for 2 years at this point. At that point, now it's probably like 4 or 5 years that we've known them.
yeah, but exciting to be able to meet somebody. But you can have friends across the world, that maybe are in the same space. So I thought that gaming, hearing from you guys, because before I didn't really understand it, before RJ started doing it, and I'm like, okay, well, people, whatever, people play games. But just to know that the community is there, unlike what people perceive. So, what I'm saying, I guess, is if young people are trying to find something to do and they're in that headspace of where, what am I going to do? Gaming can be an outlet for them where they can find camaraderie and that support and play the games and take their mind off of it and, climb up the score and be with people. The I don't know if you've ever watched The Chosen. Like, I love that show. I don't know if you've watched it. One of my favorite shows of all time. And it is what people think is a Christian show. I say it's one of the best produced shows. So if somebody's a filmmaker, somebody really appreciates like, quality, it's the best show I've ever seen as a filmmaker. Cast, crew, writing, and there was a scene, I think it was season 3, episode 2, and one of the disciples was coming and, he has a physical ailment. And he's like, Jesus, why aren't you healing me? I'm your disciple. You're healing everybody else. Why aren't you healing me? And he said, well, doesn't it mean more that you are praising me when you still have that? I had a discussion with a friend, I think I told you about, she just got possibly diagnosed. And that's one of the things we discussed is like a lot of people will get mad at God. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? And it's like
I've
for
had my
people
fair share of moments doing that.
for people who do like have a faith, whatever it may be, and they're like, why isn't God saving me? Why isn't God swooping in? And that's just what I was thinking about it. And that's what came to mind was The Chosen, which for anybody who reads the Bible and they go, well, they do this and this, the director does say they take creative, you know, creative ways to portray the story. But I think a lot of people will say, or they'll have somebody come in and go, you're not a good Christian. So God gave you this and you're suffering with this and he's not saving you. So you must not be a good Christian. You're not praying enough. You're not doing this, So the people who are, let's say, operate more by faith and are going, everybody's telling me that I didn't pray enough. Everybody's telling me. And what I say is God's there to sit with us when we're in the lowest moments. because who else is going to be there? Let's say that, you can't reach your gaming friends and mom's not answering the phone and RJ's not answering the phone, which comes, it's quite often. So, like,
Yes.
so you're sitting with yourself
RJ.
and it's, yeah, RJ, answer your phone. Gosh darn it. But it's like when you're sitting there in your space and you can't find somewhere, something to do, your hobby, you don't feel good enough to get up and do things. It's the purpose of the podcast is to give encouragement and hope, however that may present itself to be in life, whether it is your best friend coming over and sitting and crying with you and hugging you and, you guys watching videos together, or, maybe finally finding somebody like RJ on the phone, hello, and listening to what you have to say, So, like, let's say that people can't, I've just got done with chemo, they're tired, they're sitting on their own, they can't do anything, like you mentioned, they're just really tired. What would you encourage them to think about, like sitting in that space?
When you can't reach anybody and you kind of are just by yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I'm in those kind of headspaces and kind of like by myself, typically it's when I'm laying down, getting ready for bed or going to bed or waking up in the middle of the night. I'm kind of just staring at the ceiling. I honestly think about what I do have rather than what I lost in those kind of moments. Cause I'm like, okay, I have my daughter, I have my dog, I have my family. I'm still able to go out and do things like I'm going to Loot Fest next month. Thank you, RJ. I just kind of look at what I do have. And like, I know there's times where people are going to be like, I can't be positive. And I have those moments where I've just, everything is negative. It's okay to have those moments too. But, and at the same time, on the same side of the coin, look at the positives because the positives are going to get, or what is going to get you through it.
Exactly. Which
I
I won't
will, I will
mention.
cry my eyes out, but at the next day I'll be like, okay, well, I still have all this stuff, X, Y, and Z.
Well, I won't mention that you don't always answer your phone. That's besides the point. Do you remember
I'm
when,
asleep.
yeah, but before you were sick, I would like text you. I wouldn't hear from you.
Yeah.
And then you'd like send me a message, 2 weeks later? Sorry, mom. I forgot. And
I forgot that yes, I would forget, but if my memory is even worse now,
but the funny thing is I talk to you more now than I did
which is
then.
funny.
It is funny, isn't it?
I guess I don't know. Like I've never liked asking people for help, like you said earlier. So I guess I don't know.
But like
Now
sometimes,
I've kind of accepted that you're gonna need help with this because like you can't do it 100% on your own. You can't.
well, especially like with your daughter, you can't really provide anything for her, but it's because you're only getting disability. You can barely, it's $1,300. I mean, if people hear that and go, oh my gosh, that's it. That's all you're getting. That's.
$1,300 disability, and then the apartment ends up being $850 a month. So like you're not left with a whole lot afterwards.
Yeah. So it's, one of those things that you just can't. And I'm sure it takes a toll on you, emotionally, that because every parent wants to give their kid as much as they can, whether it be love,
Time,
monetarily,
money, anything.
yeah, time. And right now it's like you can, I mean, luckily you can talk to her on the phone
Yes.
and, hopefully you're able to talk to her a lot. And, because kids don't really know time to a degree, but they do, especially that young. So if she doesn't talk to you in a while, she's probably like, where's my mom? Because RJ used to do that. He and, me and his dad got divorced so early and in his life, and he would do that. Oh, I need to talk to my mom, miss my mom. So I'm sure, even as stubborn she is. She's like, I want to see my mom. And luckily, thank God, we have FaceTime
Yes.
and Zoom and different things like that where you do have.
Granted, attention spans the size of a goldfish right now. She'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I'm just sitting there watching her do whatever she's doing. I mean, hey, it's still
It's time,
yeah.
and I think that's the point is if people even, let's say that they don't have the energy to do it and they feel inadequate, it's like even, and this is what RJ told me when he was younger, as long as you're there, like present, it's not that you actually have to do something with them. They just like to know that you're present,
Mhm.
you know, that you're there if they want to talk to you. And he would do that. It would, oh, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to watch a show. Oh, okay, well, I'll let you watch a show. No, I want you to be here with me because it means something for you to be like, so same as you watching her on FaceTime. It's like you're still there, you're present in her life. So
And it
what are
does
you?
make me want to think of something else with the chemo. I know a lot of people are like, well, because like I've gone to every like this is I've gone to every single chemo session by myself. I'll look around sometimes and see people that have like family every time, and I'm just like, dang, I do it because like I used to have a relationship at the beginning of this. I don't anymore, and never once did he go to any appointments, anything, no scans, no blood work, no nothing. Go. I know I fall asleep during it sometimes because I swear that Benadryl they give you, I don't know what they put in it. I just sleep for a good 2 hours. But just go with people. Go with their family member that has it, or go with your friend that has it. Just like you don't have to go every time. Like I'm never asked. I would never ask anybody to go every single time because that's once every 2 weeks. That's a lot. And you're sitting there for like 5 hours. Yes, but go. Or if you can't go, like the day before they have chemo, that bring them some snacks. Be like, hey, here's take them with you tomorrow. Because like I'm bored when I sit there. I just want a snack because like when you're getting the infusion and everything starts tasting kind of like metallic-y and kind of like ugh. So like having their favorite soda or bag of chips or some candy or something like that. It like helps. And then like going with to the like a point going to with them to a chemo session every once in a while. It means a lot to the person. Because I do wish sometimes that I would have somebody to sit there and just talk to instead of just playing my iPad the whole 5 hours.
Well, see, if
But
we were close,
yes,
I would go
that's
with
another
you.
unfortunate thing is I'm all the way over here in Mississippi and everybody's everywhere else.
Yeah, because I think you have a lot of friends that would definitely be on
100%.
board. Yeah, with going, and even if your dad was close, and because where's your
Oh, my
brother?
family would go.
Yeah,
My whole family, most of my family's in Georgia. Obviously, people are in Florida. I got family in Virginia. I've got people in Texas. I've got people in Colorado and it's just like they're everywhere.
yeah, just
But
not
I'm here.
with you.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you can get out, go somewhere else, be able to move. Obviously, you would have to call in all your siblings and, chosen siblings to come and carry everything for you, which I think they would. I think everybody would be like, "What do you need, Stacey? What do you
I might
need?"
need help. I might need help moving soon, but we'll
I
cross
I,
that bridge
I
when it
think.
gets there.
Well, is there anything else that you feel like you need to, or that's on your heart, I guess, that you would want to share?
Um,
Because usually as you talk, then like you start thinking about things and things come up and it's I mean, my heart hurts for you. I wish that I could do something. Unfortunately, my hands are tied. I can pray for you. I can answer the phone for you. I can FaceTime you. I
yes.
can buy you Taylor Swift records. I can,
Those were the best.
which usually I'll ask her, what do you want for your birthday or what do you want for Christmas? And she's like, well.
There's a link
Since
to
you
this very limited
asked.
edition Taylor Swift vinyl that's being sold right now for only 24 hours. And you're just like, okay. And then RJ does the same. He'll ask what I want for Christmas or her birthday, and that's the same thing that happens.
But you don't like come out and ask for it. It's always, well, since you asked, okay. And
I like it since I
usually,
don't get them. Like that's okay, but like I do collect them, so
well, certain things make you happy, right? So if like somebody has something that makes them happy, even listening to music, you know, which I
and Pokemon.
encourage. Hey, if
Like that.
any bands like know a person or find out they're a fan, then I think that person as a celebrity should make a video and say, "Hey, I'm rooting for you. I'm not calling out Taylor Swift. I'm not telling her she needs to do it."
As busy as she is, I would never expect that. But
No, I wouldn't expect that of somebody so busy.
she's
But
planning a whole wedding, Kelsey Swift wedding.
I think it's cool though when they reach out, excuse me, when they reach out and say, "Hey, we're here with you." Maybe
Be
our
fair.
thoughts.
She did donate, I think, like $100,000 to a family, like a family with that the child has cancer. So like she does a whole lot. She does a lot of hospital visits and stuff like that. So that's also why I like her as an artist. Like that's why I will be gladly buy her stuff.
Well, I won't be seeing you too soon, although you're going to come visit me, right?
Well,
Now
yes,
that I live in the mountains of Montana. She's like, "Okay, when can I come visit? When do I get?"
100%.
Now it's going to be a road trip, obviously, not flying,
Yes,
but it will be an excited road trip. You know, coming this way was a lot of fun, moving, sort
I
of.
can imagine.
Well, we had the trailer horse. We have a horse trailer, and my poor husband's driving the truck. And I think we were driving through Missouri. And he's like, I was sure that the trailer was going to flip the truck because there's a
I went to
lot.
basic training there. I understand the roads there that y'all are talking about.
Yeah. So he was going, I was praying. And he's not usually a prayer, by any means. He goes, I found Jesus. I found Jesus while I was driving. Please don't let the trailer flip. It's like Jesus is alive. He got us here. So, what do you have planned for today? Oh, wow.
Today.
That's extensive.
Tomorrow is chemo, so nothing
Oh,
today.
okay.
Today's a I don't do anything day.
Okay. So, you kind of rest up, make sure you have
My
energy,
snack,
buy all your snacks. See, that's
yes.
what people can go to your GoFundMe and donate some money for snacks. They can like put it in there. This is
Yes.
designated for chemo snacks. Now, as far as like your scans and stuff, is there any like timeline for how long you have cancer? It's just kind of like taken day by day,
They
scan by scan.
we do it scan by scan because if I have a surgery that I'd have to have a whole complete liver transplant and a complete like colon like resection, and I'd have to have an ostomy, and like they because I'm only 29, they don't want to put that on me if they don't have to. So we're kind of just taking it step by step. It's stable right now. I get them every 8 weeks. So they're not going to change anything until I do.
Well, with your cancer, I think you said how most people are older, right? That usually
Mhm.
get it. And that you being so young was just so shocking.
And it's not genetic either. So they
That's
don't
so
know how I got
interesting.
it. They don't know.
Yeah. Because there's no, I guess, real, you know, uh,
No, there's
I
nothing
guess
that it points to, oh, it's
like,
this or oh, it's this.
yeah, like, oh, not that you smoke, but let's say, like bladder cancer. Okay, they smoke. Or, lung
Lung
cancer.
cancer
Okay,
would be
they
obviously smoke.
smoke.
Yeah.
But stuff like that. With this, I think that's probably why it was such a surprise because it's like not genetic. How in the world would I have gotten it? And it's like, I'm sure a lot of people, what do you mean? It's not meant for me. What are you talking about? This isn't supposed to be a reality of my life. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
I am the youngest one in the oncology office every time I go.
You said that you walk in, and it's like all these older people, and you're just this
They all
young
look at me and
person
I'm
sitting.
like, Hi,
Hi, it's
here.
me. I think people just encouragement for people find, whatever hobby, find joy, find thoughts. And like I told you, as soon as the bad thoughts start coming in, that's when you redirect those thoughts and do your hobby, concentrate on it. Like you said, what you were trying to straighten up your room or something, trying to keep your mind off things.
Yeah, y'all can't. You can't see it right now because it's off camera. But I have a whole closet that is just pouring out of stuff right now that I need to go through and get rid of before I do end up moving wherever I go, because I'm not trying to carry all that with me.
Well, I know that you're an inspiration to people. I know you don't feel that way and you don't feel like, that you should be, but I think you sharing your story will encourage other people to share. And then it will be like a community, and like you said, if you are the significant other, if you're a friend, whatever it may be, go to the doctor's appointments, go to the chemo appointments, call and check up, do something where it actually shows that you're part of the journey, you care. I mean, it is a lot, but some people will be like, it's a lot for me. What do you mean? It's like, yeah, but imagine what it's like for the person that's actually going through it. You
Mhm.
think it's a lot. Oh my gosh, I can't go to the game because I have to go there instead. But it's like, imagine what the person going through it is going through, not, oh my, it's going to take, gosh, 5 hours of my day. I mean, where it really is five
Yeah,
hours.
I already feel like a burden on a lot of people's lives because of this. So just don't make them feel like more of one, I guess. Like if they ask you to go, it's because obviously they care about you and want you to care about them. Or yes, want you to care about them.
And it's like, prove that they matter, because it's not their fault. I think that's a big thing is it's not like you chose it. It's not like you're trying to be a burden. It's not like they offered who wants this and you were like me, please me. And people who have it, they're not choosing that life. They aren't choosing the treatment. They aren't choosing, I mean, they want to stay
I did
alive
not
and
choose
that's a
to be
must.
sick. I would much rather not be sick, but
And
I can't
hope
help it.
hopefully things will turn around, you'll get better. And that's what we hope for everybody is, cancer sucks. Let's be honest, cancer sucks. There's a lot of types of cancers. And unfortunately, it's like it feels like every day I see somebody new that, oh, look, I got cancer. And it just seems so prevalent now than it was even 20, 30 years ago. It's because, I'm Gen X, so it was before you were born. But it just seems like now it's just constant. And what do you have? And it's just, and it really should be a community, not just like, I mean, nothing against some of these places trying to raise money for it. But I think, yes, raise money for it, but more than anything, be there for people emotionally and, support them as far as bringing them up, and not making them feel like life would be better without them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
That was the roundabout way. And she's like, yes. Okay, thanks.
Basically.
No need to elaborate.
They're
Thanks
still
so
the
much.
same person that they were underneath the cancer.
Yeah. Still the same person. It's just you're different, but that's the same as going through any challenge in life. People end up being different because it's taught them things. Or, and physically, obviously, things are different. You can't help that. So, for everyone listening, make sure to like, follow, subscribe. Don't miss another episode. And we will have Stacey back. And I told her she has a choice of what she wants to talk about, because we talk about anxiety, fear, grief, which grief is part of diagnosis, part of, what you go through. That is grief because you have to grieve what you can't have anymore. fear, worry, addiction. We talked about a lot of stuff. Not that you would talk about addiction, but some of the other things. Alrighty, so anything left to say? A farewell?
No,
No.
that's what I can think of right now with my shoddy memory. But yeah, it's just it's hard. It will be hard. It's not going to be easy, but you will get through it. You will be okay.
Thank you very much, daughter.
You're welcome.
And we'll see everybody next time.